So let's now think about the search feature. We'll start with the markup. Let's add a search text input in here above all the deals. So that would be in the app component in here. So if I'm rendering a deal list, I'd like the system to be able to give me a search feature on that. I don't need the search feature if I'm on a deal detail view. I just need it when I'm on a deal list view. So I'm going to put this inside a view, and I'll add a text input. Now we can add the text input right here directly and start working with that. But this search bar is going to be a controlled component. And in fact, we should debounce the search so that the search fires immediately when we type, but not on every character. And this way we don't have to have a submit search button. So to isolate all these features, we'll put them in their own components. So I'm going to call this component search bar and go implement it. So we'll add search bar under components here. This is a search bar.js. And this is a React class component, search bar. And in here, we'll do the text input. In the app component, I need to import this search bar. So import search bar from /search bar. Perfect. So in this search bar, we can have the text input from React Native. So I'll go with that. I need to import that from React Native. So import text input, React Native. So in the text input, let's do a few things. Let's first give it a style. So I'll call this styles.input, and we'll import style sheet from React Native, and we'll create a styles object from that. So style sheet.create, and let's give some styles for the input text. So let's go with height 40 and test all that. Let me format and let me refresh. So we have the text input. However, it seems like I lost the deals. So let's figure out what is going on. This looks like a styling problem. Let me try to fix it real quick. This deal list has a padding top in here, and it has a flex one. I'm going to kill that for now. So I see the deal list in here, and the search bar is right here. So let me actually put a placeholder text in here to see what's going on with the search bar. So let's go with placeholder. Let's go with something like search all deals. Format. So now if you can see, I see the search bar right here, but I need to avoid the phone controls. So let's do that. Let's give this style. I'll just go with styles.main in here. And actually, I will do the same for the deal detail so that we always have consistent margins from above. So in here, we'll have a main. And this main will only have a margin top of 50. So let's make sure that works. Perfect. 50 sounds too much. So we'll go with 30. Perfect. Now, when I click on a deal, the margin top now is too much. So we'll just get rid of this margin top in here because now it's coming from the main app. Very good. So now I have a margin top in here, and I have this search all deals text button. Very good. Let's actually give this one to some margin horizontal here. Let's go with 12. And this is looking decent. So let's go ahead and capture the search term. And we can do that by making this search bar a controlled component. Basically, we place something on the state. Let's call that search term. This search term begins as an empty string. And we'll wire this text input with an onChange text event. We'll call this handler this.handle change. And handle change is simple. Basically, it is a function that is going to receive the actual text that the user types. So we'll call that search term. And it will set the state with that search term. So it puts the search term right on the state. So let's test all that. And we can do so with React DevTools. So now I have a search bar component right here. and this one has a state. And when I start typing, I see the information right on the state of the search bar component. Very good. So let's now think about the actual search operation. We're going to need an AJAX call, so let's get that out of the way. So let's call this new function fetch deals search results. And this function is going to depend on a search term. And the API is simple. It is basically /deals, and we specify a search term, just like that, equal, and then we'll have the search term in here. Everything else is the same. So we'll go to /API/deals, give it a search term, and it will give us back some listings from the database that match that search term. Very good. So we can now fire this fetch deals search results anywhere we want. So let's think about that. The app component will have a list of the initial deals. And if we have initial deals, it will display those deals. However, if we have search results, we want to display the search results rather than displaying the list of deals. So we'll have to introduce a new array here for the search results of the deals. And the reason we want to display a new array rather than replacing the deals that we depend on is that if we undo the search, we want to go back to the same view, and we don't need to go back to the server to fetch more deals. So instead of replacing the deals on the state when we do the search, we'll just introduce a new array, call this array deals from search. This will start as an empty array, and we'll create a function here to do the search, basically. So we'll call this function search deals. This function is going to call the fetch deals search results, which is an AJAX operation. So we want to do AJAX.that. We'll fetch that with a search term. This means the search deals here is going to need to receive the search term as well. And this is an async operation, so we want to await on that and make search deals itself an async function. And the result of calling this function is going to be the deals from search. So let's put that in a constant, deals from search, just like that. And once we have it, we want to just set the state to save the deals from search. So when I call this search deals function, it will go and fetch from the database and then come back and set the results on the state of this component. We also need another function to clear the search. So let's think about that as well. This is a very simple function that would set the state. Basically, it will set deals from search back to an empty array. We can actually combine these two functions for simplicity. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's make this deals from search into a variable like that, starts at an empty array. And then we'll do an if statement. If there is a search term, then we want to change the deals from search to be that, and then do set state. This way, to clear the search, I can just call search deals with an empty search term. Very good. So let's go ahead and pass this search deals into the component that it needs set, which is the search bar. So I'll pass it here with the same name. So search deals is this dot search deals. And inside search bar, we need to define this new property that we just passed to it. So static prob types equal. We've got search deals, which is a prob types dot function dot is required. And I need prop types. And now what I want to do is, after setting the state for that search term, I'd like to perform the search operation. But remember, I don't want to perform the search operation on every single character I type, so we should debounce this action. To do an operation right after a set state operation, we can use the second argument for set state, which is a callback that React is going to invoke after the set state operation is done. So in here, we can debounce the operation for searching. Debounce is something that we can use from Lodash. So I'll go ahead and import from Lodash, we'll import debounce from Lodash.debounce. This way I'm only importing the debounce function and not the whole Lodash library. And I'll create a new function here, call this function debounced search deals. And this is basically a debounce call for this dot props dot search deals. And we'll debounce it with 300 millisecond delay, just like that. Now in here, I can just call the debounced search deal. So this dot debounce search deals and pass this dot state dot search term so that the search happens in the main component. So I think we can test all that. However, we need npm install lodash.debounce. And I'll test with the React DevTools open. I'm going to highlight the app component to see the deals. Right now, the deals from search is an empty here. And now let's search. We'll search for yoga. And look at that. I have deals from search has 2 listing only that matches the yoga search. Very good. Now all I need to do is, if I have deals from search, display those instead of displaying the original deals array. This is easy. In the app component, we'll create a new variable, call this deals to display, and it will basically be this dot state dot deals from search. If the length of this array is greater than 0, then we'll just place deals from search as the deals to display. Otherwise, we'll do just deals. So let me format all that. So if we have deals from search on the array, then the deals to display are those deals from search. Otherwise, we're just displaying the deals. And in here, we'll replace this .state.deals with just deals to display. And check it out. Hot reloading work. Now I have deals to display. What happens if I delete this? I see all the deals. Let me test all that one more time. Yoga, 2 deals, delete all the deals, website. There you go. And this search is actually case insensitive because the API that we use supports that. One thing that we should also test is the debounce feature. So the expectation is that when I type a word, only one network call should be made to the API. And we can validate that using the inspector here. This inspector has a network tab. So go ahead and click that. React DevTools has to be closed for this network tab to work. But once it's working, you'll start seeing the network calls. These are WebSocket calls. Don't worry about those. However, when we type something here in the search, you should see a single hit to the API right here. And when I deleted that search, no network calls were made over the wire. Looking good. So I believe we reached the MVP status for this app. However, there are still a lot of improvements that we can do, especially with animation and gesture recognition. So in the next chapter, we will explore those.